Well, hey there, pals. So today I have a podcast coming to y'all straight up about your website copy because y'all know I love me some SEO and tips and hacks there on how to take advantage of SEO and make it work for you. But it really doesn't matter how great your SEO is if when people get to your website copy is poop and everybody hates your website because you sound like a robot or you're confusing or it's just straight up not that whoopee. So today I'm going to give you four free tools to help you write better copy. Because I know not everybody can hire a professional website copywriter, and that's fine. And to be quite honest, you and me, we all need to learn how to write copy for our businesses because the fact of the matter is there's going to be projects that come up that we need some quick copy for, an ad that we need to write copy for. We need to be able to proof good copy to see if the person we want to hire or have hired to help us with our copy knows what they're doing. So still need to learn about great copy, even if you plan on hiring a website copywriter for every project from now until Jesus comes back. So here are 4 free tools to help you write better copy. And number 2 is going to be a little surprising for you, but I'm here for it. Hey there, fellow entrepreneur. Welcome to Simple SEO and Marketing with me, Faith Hannon. Do you want to grow your business with organic marketing and finally feel like you can understand SEO? Are you scouring the internet for how to get more website traffic, SEO for dummies, and how to market on Pinterest? Have you tried to grow your business with SEO and blogging only to get frustrated and quit because it's overwhelming and too time consuming? Been there. Hey, I'm Faith Hannon, Jesus lover, copywriter, blogger, wife, wrangler of tiny humans, and barrel racer. And let me tell you, I didn't have time to waste sorting through SEO and keyword strategies that either didn't work or were so over my head I couldn't understand them. I honestly thought that SEO and blogging only worked for people with a PhD in tech jargon and a whole team of employees, until I learned these secrets. Good SEO strategies don't have to be complicated, and creating and marketing great content doesn't have to take more than a couple hours a week total. So pop in those earbuds, slam some coffee, and let's grow your business with simple organic marketing and a healthy dose of biblical encouragement along the way. Okay, so just a little bit of clarification of terms before we jump all the way in. Okay, now when I say your copy on your website, COPY, not COFFEE, although I'd be lying if I didn't say I have some coffee right beside me right now. Anyway, when I say your copy, what I mean by that is words designed to sell. There's a lot of kind of mix up and like just people using that word, using copy and content interchangeably, but copy by nature has a different function than content. When you hear people talk about copy, typically they're referring to website copy, the words on your website designed to sell, not your blog content. Typically, copy means your homepage, your about page copy, your service page copy, your sales page copy, your ad copy, and sometimes there's some gray area between email copy and email content. Now, when people are talking about content, when I'm talking about content specifically, I mean your blog content. I mean your social media content. I mean your podcast content. The distinction that we can make in our brains here is copy is words designed to sell, and content is generally words designed to educate, entertain, or connect. And the term content can also include audio, video, or photos, right? So they're very broad terms, but for today's episode, please know that when I'm talking about copy, I mean words designed to sell, which obviously everything that you produce needs to be produced with intentionality and planning and a lot of work and a lot of thought. But your website copy, your ad copy, your sales page copy, it deserves an incredible amount of intentionality and research and looking over and redoing and fine-tuning, because your website is your home on the internet. It is the hub, it should be at least the hub of everything that you produce. And you should be sending people back to your website, not your social media, not, your TikTok or your LinkedIn or whatever. Like, you want your website to be the hub of your online business world, okay? Like I mentioned before, email copy, email content, people get a little bit up in arms over that one. But in my mind, when I'm sitting down to write emails, I'm writing email content most of the time, unless I'm prepping for a launch or a sale. And then in my mind, it shifts to email copy, because my email strategy is a little different than the average bear's, whereas like 95% of the emails that I send out are simply to connect, educate, provide value. Definitely some entertainment going on there. And so when I'm thinking email, generally I'm thinking email content, except for a sale or a promo. And then I'm thinking copy, because I'm thinking through, buyer psychology and the buyer psychology journey. And so that's the difference there. But for today's purposes, just think website copy. Okay. So some of y'all know this, some of y'all don't, but I'm actually a copywriter as well as an SEO consultant. And my journey into copywriting, part of me says was a little bit accidental, but then in hindsight, I'm like, oh no, I was always selling things with words. But the quote official start of my copywriting business really began with a work trade situation where I needed branding done for this business idea that I had, that BT Dubs is not what I ended up doing. But in my trade for this branding, I was like, hey, I can do your website copy, because I had been reading books about website copy. I have a minor in English, have a marketing degree. I've always been a wordsmith. I mean, it's just in me by nature. I had been learning about website copywriting. And so I was like, yeah, I can do this. And so we did this trade. I got a great branding package out of the deal. Loved the gal I worked with. And I remember looking at my husband after I had completed the project, and I was like, I really could do this. Like, I enjoyed doing that work for her. I enjoyed copywriting. And so that really just began my business. And I've been doing copywriting as a big portion of my business for several years now. And then I got into SEO, the SEO side of things, because I was looking at a client's website versus my website. And my website was so beautiful at the time, I thought. And I had worked so hard on crafting this beautiful copy, blah, 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 blah. But they were getting so much more traffic than I was because their SEO was better. And so I dove into the SEO world with the intention of just like figuring it out so that I could make my website better and move on with my life. But I've come to this place now where I can blend SEO strategy and website copy. And it's so fun because it's like blending art and science and wordsmithing and like get my pocket protector nerdy level stuff, which BT Dubs, I don't actually have a pocket protector. Okay. But your SEO matters. Yes, this podcast is primarily about SEO, but your website copy matters too, because it doesn't matter how much traffic you get to your website if when people get to your website, they hate it, right? Or that what they read is repulsive or doesn't answer their questions, okay? So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how to blend great SEO and great copy, check out episodes 10, 110, and 114, okay? So now, obviously, I, a professional copywriter, believe in the value of hiring a copywriter, right? But I 100% know that one, not everybody has the budget or the time for that. And two, you're eventually going to have to learn how to write some at least semi-appealing copy for yourself on some things. Like, you're probably not going to be able to hire out every single line of copy ever for your business, okay? And so I've compiled a list of 4, okay, maybe 5 with a bonus tip, free tools to help you write better copy yourself. And even if you just take these and you use them to help refine your copywriter's work or help you choose the best copywriter for you or whatever, or how to recognize good copy, then you'll be ahead of the game. Okay, number 1, it's just a fun tool, but honestly one that I don't use a ton, mostly because I forget about it. But I'm going to try really hard to use it more often now because I was like, oh yeah, that's a cool tool. So this first tool is actually an alliteration tool. So if you're somebody that you love some good alliteration, but you're just having a heck of a time coming up with a word that starts with Z or a word that starts with N that goes with what you're trying to say. Like, for example, and you're doing a deep dive, line by line copy overhaul on a project, here is a tool for you, okay? It's called onelook.com, but you want to go to the thesaurus section. There's onelook.com in a dictionary section, but it's not as useful for this as the thesaurus section. I don't know why that word is so hard to say today, but it is. And the website itself is a little bit clunky, okay? It's a little clunky, not gonna lie. But if you get in there and you're just doing a line-by-line copy overhaul on your website, you probably know what words you were looking for replacements for, or what words you're looking for different options for. And so you can go in there and be like, I need a better option for fantastic. Like, I need a better adjective or a better adverb here, or something that's gonna stand out more. That's a great tool for you to use. Now, again, it's a little bit clunky, and obviously you don't need this, but sometimes it's just really good to kind of get your brain working, get the creative juices flowing, and just make your copy a little more interesting than maybe it would have been otherwise. All right, now the number 2 tool, ready? That is, I guess, free. I don't know, we're going to call it free. The number 2 tool is you need a 6-year-old in your life. So there's a quote attributed to Albert Einstein that the internet is, up in arms on whether it was actually Einstein. But he supposedly said, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, then you really don't understand it yourself. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, I have a 6-year-old. This is very accurate. This is a very accurate quote. Now, my 6-year-old is brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant, but there are still so many things that I have to break down on her level, right? And in our businesses, it is so easy to get just stuck and caught up in the headspace of our business, using the verbiage that we're used to using, the shortcuts, even the elevator pitches that were just so fluffy that we've crafted that are so beautiful, whatever. And really and truly not break down what it is we actually do on a level that somebody outside of our company or outside of our industry can understand. And so my challenge to you is to take the main chunks of your copy, the main portions of your messaging, and ask yourself, would a 6-year-old understand this? Could I explain this to my niece, my neighbor, my best friend's kid, whoever that's like 6 or 7, 5, 6 or 7, somewhere in that range. Now, you do not have to keep your copy at a 5, 6, or 7-year-old level. I'm not saying that you do, okay? Your copy needs to speak to your ideal client, but chances are good that it's a little bit too complicated. Now, this is honestly one of the questions or issues that I answer or talk about or coach through the most in coaching calls. And sometimes I get some reactions that are like, well, that's what it means. And this stands out like this. And I'm like, no, because people want to use big fluffy language that detracts from the meaning of what they're actually saying. And if you've been around here for, more than 5 seconds, you know that I am all about clarity. Yes, we need to be, original and fun in our language, but you need to be clear as well, because ain't nobody got time to sift through your fluff. Okay? Your language that you use on your website, in your messaging, and everything that you produce needs to be abundantly clear first, and then you can go back and kind of make it more interesting. Okay? But if you can't break down what it is that you do in very simple but understandable terms, then go back to the drawing board, please and thank you. Okay? Okay, and if you don't have access to a 6-year-old that you can talk to about your business, talk to somebody that is outside of your industry, that truly doesn't understand what it is that you do, because they're going to ask you questions that you really may not have thought anybody would have. Okay, so number 2 is a 6-year-old, preferably. But if you can't find a 6-year-old, then talk to somebody that's outside your industry. Okay. Now the number 3 tool is Grammarly. So Grammarly has a free version. They also have a paid version. I have a paid version because, I do this for a living. I write a lot of things. I have a team that writes a lot of things. I have interns that write things. For me, Grammarly is 100% worth $1 every year. But truth be told, the free version is pretty darn good. Now, I know there are other editing softwares out there, but I really like Grammarly. One, it catches things that other things don't catch, that other softwares don't tend to catch. And it also lets you choose the tone with which you're writing. It lets you specify a little bit about the audience, like, hey, I want to, use a friendly tone with a professional audience. And so Grammarly allows you to kind of not just check for grammar, but check for the best sentence structure and things like tone and obviously punctuation, all those things. But it allows you to tailor your copy that you give it to your audience without a whole heck of a lot of work. And like I said, the free version is really nice too. And you can actually download a plugin so that it edits everything you type on the internet, which if you're like me and you tend to have fat fingers or type too fast, then it's really helpful and it catches a lot of mistakes. Okay. Now, the number 4 tip I have for you is to talk it out. We don't all process best by writing. I'm kind of, I guess, an odd duck in that I process verbally and by writing, but there's some things I have to process verbally, and there's some things that I have to sit and write out. Don't ask me the difference. I don't know if there is a difference. I don't know if it's a time of day difference. I don't know what it is, but there is a difference. I just don't know what it is. But a lot of people that I've worked with, a lot of clients, and even a lot of students that I have, they have a hard time processing their thoughts or coming up with good things to say when they sit down to write something out by hand or type something out. But when you get them talking, oh my gosh, so much gold comes out of their mouth. And I'll be like, pause. I need to record this conversation. So what I want you to do is I want you to sit down and talk out your copy with a friend and record it. Now, if you have to call your bestie who lives on the other side of the world and they're just not about that Zoom life, then what I want you to do is get an app called Rev Call Recorder. And you can record your conversation. It's free as long as you don't ask it to transcribe your conversation. But Rev Call Recorder is free and it will record your phone call straight up. Obviously, Zoom is a great tool here, but sometimes if you're just need to have a conversation with somebody on the fly, that doesn't work out very well. But I want you to talk out your website copy with a friend. Talk it out with somebody who's going to ask you good questions, who's going to ask you, well, why does that matter? Well, what does that mean? Or what's the value here? Or what's another way to say that? Because you're going to find that spending time talking about what it is that you do, talking about your sales page, talking about whatever it is you're working on is going to bring things out of you that you didn't even know were there. And BT Dubs, this is one of the benefits of booking a VIP day or a few hours of coaching calls with me and my team, is we talk out a lot of things. We're going to ask you a lot of questions to draw things out of you, to take that goodness and put it into your copy and then zhuzh it up for SEO. Which, by the way, if y'all didn't know this, we are now offering VIP copy days where we can get your SEO strategy and your website copy done in a day, because I want to be able to give you all that quick turnaround, that just very, very, very focused attention. But those days are obviously limited because I'm not adding a crap ton of time to my work schedule because, hi, work at home mom of littles and my babies come first. But I do want to be able to offer this. So if you are at all curious about booking a VIP website copy day, the link is in my show notes. Go check it out on the website. I don't price guard. The price is there, okay? So don't feel like you're going to be like hurting my feelings if you go check it out and the price is whatever, not a good fit for you. That's fine, okay? But I do put the price on there because I don't like surprises. And I just want y'all to know it's a fantastic product and the way to get the ball rolling on making your website work for you. Now, a bonus tool. Y'all ready for this? It's the bonus tool because it's technically not free. Although, I have a 6-year-old and she ain't free either. But this bonus tip is I really, really love to hash out some copy on a giant whiteboard. There is something about getting away from the computer and writing things out in big, bold, ugly letters because nobody's handwriting is pretty on a whiteboard, and just getting it out there. Circle things, draw arrows, move things around, erase things. Get messy, get it out, and then go back and refine. Austin Kleon, I think is how you say his last name, wrote a book several years ago that I read a couple years ago called Steal Like an Artist. That in that book, he just breaks down the magic, I guess, so to say, of having a non-digital desk or a non-digital spot in your work time. And while I don't use that every single day, I have found that there are times when I can get the creativity flowing so much better if I will just get out a giant whiteboard. I don't have a giant one because small house, but if I will get out my whiteboard or my notebook and just get writing, and I will like fill up my medium-sized whiteboard, take a picture, and then move on to the next part of my thought process. But really and truly, if you will use a giant whiteboard to either plan things out, or obviously we're talking about your website copy, but get your copy out of your head and onto that whiteboard, I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised with the wordsmithing that happens for you, okay? So for really 5 free tools to help you write better copy, the alliteration tool called onelook.com, but the thesaurus part, I don't know why I'm struggling with that word today, y'all. Anyway, number 2, a 6-year-old. Y'all just need to have a nice little heart-to-heart with a 6-year-old, okay? Number 3, a Grammarly is a great tool for helping you write better copy. Number 4, talking it out with a friend, your spouse, somebody that is not super in your industry, but even if they are, there's still some valuable questions that they're going to ask you to draw out that good language that's hiding down in your brain. And number 5, a giant whiteboard. And if you're like, help, I still need help, Faith, then either book a coaching call or a few hours of coaching calls and make notes in the intake forms that, hey, this is going to be for my website copy, and I'll give you different questions, right, to prep for that. Or book a VIP day. Or if you're like, Faith, just teach me how to fish. I walk you through creating great website copy within the organic marketing framework And you get my homepage template where I tell you, put this type of text here, this type of text here to take advantage of great website copy and great SEO. So 3 options for you. Those ones are obviously not free, but even if you never buy a thing from me, I want you to take this podcast, put these tips into action and the previous podcasts on great website copy, and take your messaging and craft it so that it speaks to the heart of your ideal person and lets them know that you can solve their problem, you can help them, and connect with the people that God has for you to help. So I'm excited for y'all to take this, use it, and spruce up your website copy with free or not free tools. Thank you so much for listening in today. Hopefully this episode gave you some really tangible tips for better SEO and marketing to get more leads and more sales from your website. If it did, can I ask you a quick favor? Would you please share this episode with a friend and then just take 10 seconds and go leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. That is the very best way to help more Jesus-loving entrepreneurs scale their businesses so that they can help more people with their gifts and make an even bigger impact for the kingdom of God. And guess what? We now have a Facebook community where we can learn, hang out, and laugh. Go join the Facebook group now. It's linked in the show notes. And all the other things, courses, coaching, and copywriting can be found at my website, faithhannon.com. Until next time, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.